Up next, we have the terrific Tracy running Kirby's Adventure. We are super hyped for this run, and we hope you all are going to enjoy this. And I'll hand it over to you, Tracy.
Hello, it's good to be back. We are good to go whenever, I figure, right?
We are good to go whenever. You ready for a countdown?
Alright, so, timing will start when I select my file here, but before I do so, I'm going to reset for a bit of RNG manipulation. So, let's do that. 3, 2, 1, go. Okay, that wasn't exactly in sync, and I apologize. But, so, I reset at the start, so I can jump into this enemy, slide into this one, and do a little hop here. And that sets up those enemies, the Waddle Dews, or whatever they're called. I always mix up my Kirby enemies. Sets them up so they don't waste a lot of time with shooting their beams, so I can mix Tornado off of them. So, in this game, we are going to see a lot of Tornado, because it is the zoomy, fast power. Oh, nice. It saves a lot of time over most of the other powers, and it is absolutely nuts. Like, it is very, very strong. It is invincible almost all the time. It just hits you with a whole lot of strength. Speaking of, we are going to try it out on this mini-boss here. Hopefully we can get a good pattern on him. Oh my gosh. That was actually the best pattern it gave me, and ironically for a moment, there was a brief period between my tornadoes where I wasn't safe. But usually you can start them back to back and be fine. But yeah, so it just kind of goes through things like that. So a lot of this run has precise tornado movement for the most part. I hold B to rise, but otherwise I just press it and it lasts as long as it does every time. Unless it interacts with slopes, in which case it can sometimes be shortened a bit. And if there's ever a fear of there being too much tornado, there will be some points where there are some other powers we'll be seeing. But yeah, for the most part, though, World 1 is fairly simple. It has quite a bit of enemy luck, but is fine. Nothing fancy. Oh gosh. So, every time I hit that pad at the end of a level, it tells me to push A. The funny thing is, I'm hitting A or B about back to back on like the first frame possible to get the lowest possible height. And sometimes you might miss that, or you might launch a little too high. But yeah. Other things to note about this game, it is a very beautiful game for the NES. From 1993, very late in the lifespan, and they packed it with a lot of great details and sprites, but sadly that means they filled some levels with too many enemies to the point where it lags excessively.
This is really, really pretty for a NES game. Sorry, we didn't mean to cut you off at all.
Alright, so here we see that Wispy is no problem at all. Just 3 cycles of Tornado and it's over. Ice Cream Island here doesn't really have too much more going on, but it has a few interesting things. Like, it has the first arena in the game, and it also has the first clip in the game that we'll be seeing. So when the title says no major glitches, it's referring to not using any forms of credit swarping, which can be done by crashing the game with stone, or using the UFO glitch, which is actually just a general like copy ability glitch with certain powers. You can permanently keep them, but it is significantly broken when you use it on UFO. But yeah. So anything else is fine, like going out of bounds. Oh no, don't follow me. Really. I really dislike when that happens. The annoying thing about fighting mini bosses like that, when they jump a lot, it can be a little harder to hit them. And then also I finished it. I hit it near the middle, so I wasn't sure if it was going right or left. But that's fine. Two, 3 here, we'll have our first clip. So clips in this game are funny. Well, there's a few varieties of them, but the one seen here is done by having a power. Nice, okay. It's done by having a power that doesn't give Kirby a weapon to hold, so Tornado is perfect for that. And then you run across a 1-tile gap, and as you're going across it, you crouch. And for some reason, that just kind of makes Kirby dip into it. My idea on why might be that, so when Kirby has a power, the tint of their body becomes like oranges instead of pink. And so I assume that like their sprite is slightly different, like the hitbox on it. So when you have a power that doesn't give you a weapon to hold, like I assume it shifts your sprite a bit enough so that you can fall into the floor with that method for whatever reason. I mean, that's just what I speculate at the least. I don't know if anybody knows a legit reason why, but it sounds good enough to me. I like this room a lot because I don't have to hit any directions in it at all. Just do 3 tornadoes. It's a bit funny how that works out that way sometimes. Oh, and something I don't think I've mentioned yet, but as you can see there, sliding in this game off of ledges is another good way to keep speed, because Kirby accelerates very, very fast going down slopes, and similarly when sliding off an edge. And a lot of the normal movement in this game is actually really fun, in my opinion. Also, I find this room really fun, because I was trying to mention it earlier, but I kind of zoned out for a moment. So, because this game has so many sprites from the enemies and most of the rooms and they lag a lot, your best ability to reduce that lag is just to take them out as efficiently as possible, and I think that's a very great example in that room there, where I just hit them all in a row. However, sometimes, sadly, you are unable to hit certain enemies as they're out of your way, and if they are Sparkies or Hotheads, the moves they use especially add way more lag with the particles they create. So sometimes you just lose like seconds gradually throughout the run, and it's nothing you can control. Okay, it looks like this is working really good. Nice, that was perfect. So that is, that's a faster way to defeat Paint Roller, and most runners of this game don't utilize it, because it's a little rough to do. Like, as you could see from the way that Tornado interacted on the right side with the hitbox, it was all kinds of jank. If you do it wrong, sometimes you will get hit in between that, and oftentimes I really can't tell if it's going to work or not. It seems really weird. It's not terribly inconsistent, just strange. But anyway, so if this were 100%, this would be the first level where the route changes. World 1 and 2 are exactly the same, but in this level, there's a switch. And when you push every switch across worlds 3 to 7, they'll unlock more to the overworld and contribute to the percentage. But doing 100% is really, really hard, and I think this game is already hard as is. I'm going to be grinding out this category, and when I feel satisfied with my time in it, I will try to do better in 100%. So I'll probably feel more confident in submitting that to future events, where we get to see a lot more powered variety. But sadly, we get a lot of tornado here. So hopefully y'all are okay with that. But yeah, so in a few levels, there will be a need for mixing UFO, and that is because many bosses like Bugsy, they do not take kindly to Tornado. They have grabbing attacks, and they kind of just ignore the stuff that Tornado does to every other boss. So on those ones, yeah, they'll just grab me straight out of Tornado. So I want to use something strong and fast otherwise, and if it's not Tornado, then it's going to be UFO. Okay, I'm gonna try this again. There we go. Alright. So, Tornado here speeds up this world a lot. Although there are two places that you will be seeing it in most top runs. A lot of people opt to do it in 3-3 because it's the easier mix, but it loses about 10 seconds to getting it in 3-5 because the rest of 3-3 and 3-4 are slower with Tornado than without. But the big risky thing about mixing it in 3-5 is that it is a much harder mix overall, which, speaking of, I don't think I explained clearly. So when you inhale two different enemies, there's a determined order that will start on the power after the one of the second enemy you inhaled. But so it's always consistent there, and it cycles through them at about 4 frames each. So you have a little bit of time to react, but it can still be difficult. And Tornado on the mix I got it on was the 4th power, and Tornado on the mix that I would go for otherwise in the next level is the 15th, so stopping it consistently there is very difficult. And if I miss it in 3-5, then instead of just losing 10 seconds, I lose 20 outright, because I don't get a second chance or anything. It would be on these two enemies right here. Yeah. So, I'm not terribly familiar with doing it in 3-3 all that much. I don't prefer it, but I figured I might as well do it for this, just to keep speed. But yeah, the old route without any Tornado mixing here would just be to take Hammer from Bonkers there. Which, funny thing, Hammer is one of the strongest powers in the game, aside from UFO and Tornado. It would take out the boss of this world in 3 hits each. But overall, it's slower to have it than to keep Tornado, so I'm just going to use Tornado. Alright. Nice. Okay. Alright, that was a little lame. So I can kill them both with one tornado each, but it's not so necessary to do. Like, it's not any faster than using 2 each. But I also wanted to be careful to not, like, get hurt in case it ran out. But yeah, so far, so good.
Is now a good time to read a blurb? Is now a good time to read a blurb?
Yeah, sorry.
Fastest Furs Fall Festival is raising money for Trans Lifeline. The Trans Lifeline microgrant program offers grants for legal name changes, updated name and gender markers on IDs and passports, immigration documents, and more. To learn about this program, including how to apply, please visit translifeline.org/microgrants. Trans Lifeline is such an important charity, and we're so happy that this event is raising money for such a great charity.
What I really like about sliding down the roof there is that there's supposed to be another one of these Poppy Bros, I think, the juniors. There's supposed to be another one in the spot where I slide down to, but for some reason when the screen scrolls from that slide, it just despawns them, and I love that a lot. Alright, good. Going on the top path here is like 2 seconds faster than the bottom, but it has spikes. I mean, they both have spikes, but it looks a little scary. If I drop my star, my power, and it hits spikes, it just disintegrates immediately.
We see a call for a $5 Poyo train.
Nice.
Let's get your donations in.
So we've had a lot of tornado in World 4, but we're actually going to drop it. We're going to swap between 3 different powers for the rest of it. So in this one, we're going to drop it here and try to get Wheel. There we go. Nice. Sometimes that is troublesome because the power is dependent on the second enemy, I believe, and by chance, I sometimes inhale them backwards, in which case I get, like, freeze or ice, I don't remember which. But yeah, so this is, like, the only level, the only 2 or 3 rooms that we use Wheel in this game, which is really funny, because if you've ever seen a run of the remake, then you'll know that Wheel is used all over the place there, but it's just not very good here. Also, the second power I needed out of this level was not Spark, but I was supposed to inhale both of those enemies to mix UFO, but the setup for it is much more difficult than the mixes usually, so that's alright. At least the fight with Spark wasn't very terrible. Oh my gosh, really? That was awesome. That was a really funny moment. Burning, pulling itself back, and it placed me on top of the platform I was on, which canceled the move altogether. Which, I'm sure I've seen that before, but it's not happened very commonly. Okay, so there's a clip in pretty much every world except the first, and we're gonna get to the one here. Come on. This clip is really difficult because there's like no room to run. Oh my gosh, please. There we go. Alright. That was very obnoxious. Wait. I guess there is another clip to be done in this world in a different level, but I don't go for it. The time save, for what it's worth, is not that crazy. It's also a space where there's no room to run. But at least I didn't have to do any of that level, so that's cool. So here we go with Krakow. For some reason, rising up with high jump just goes a bit faster, I think, if you go straight up. Alright, that was almost perfect. If not, that was very, very good. Alright. First room right here is very, very tricky. Nice. Oh, nice. I spent so much time practicing it. It is very, very, funny with the movement there. I spent a lot of time just grinding out practice in this game lately, because I'm hoping to grind to take and lower the record soon. I was, earlier in the year, I was kind of racing a Japanese runner to get the first 42, and I ended up choking like 2 runs that were on pace for it in the last world, which was a little sad. And then I always get myself busy with other games, so I haven't been on it. But I'm feeling the motivation again, and I just want to put in a lot of work to get that. This is personally my favorite speed game. It's also my favorite Kirby game. I love this game a lot. So I want to be really, really good at it. That's my only major motivation. I think this is... It's not always, but I think it's often underappreciated. But to be fair, there are so many good Kirby games. Like, for somebody else to have their favorites be any of the others is completely valid, so that's fine. Alright. Oh, okay. Well, missed my apron. So the funny thing about the routing, years ago, there wasn't as much Tornado as there is now, and nobody mixed Tornado in 5-1, so 5-2 had to be done with Ball, and fighting Bonkers with Ball when I was learning, and I tried it out. It was the most annoying strat. A lot of the alternatives to Tornado weren't always far more difficult, but I definitely did not favor them. And we're going to see another example of that in the next level, actually, where nobody used Tornado, like, ever before, and I'm going to be doing my best with it, because I think it makes the level much less painful overall. But I'm going to do something funny in the next room, so I'm glad I didn't take a lot of damage, because I'm just going to get hurt, like, 3 times, you know, half my health, no problem, right? And I am only doing that to keep Tornado safe, because, again, if my star touches the spikes, it pops. And even if I did float down, like, perfectly past all the spikes, it only saves, like, about a second at the most. So I'm okay with that. Anyway, so nobody would use Tornado here, like, ever, because they're like, oh, it's too difficult to go past all of these spikes. And even I thought it was too difficult. But then I actually like saw somebody do it, and I was like, oh, so if you just do it this way, it's not all that concerning. But I still wouldn't 100% recommend it to a beginner or anything. But yeah, so before you would just do this, you would do the previous room with burning, drop burning into the arena powerless, and then you would grab ball here to hop around all over the screen, and ball controls very stiff and awkwardly in Kirby's Adventure, and it was very, very unfun for me. I did not like it much at all. However, the best advantage to having ball was that you could just drop straight down the right side of this, and you get down it much faster. But again, overall, Tornado is faster anyway, so it's alright. I really dislike when that enemy spawns. It's not normal unless the screen shifts a certain way, but it's fine. So this level has an acute angle clip. It's a really unique one compared to the rest, where you usually need a power, where it's just the roof and the corner of this do not meet properly, so I can just get in there. Oh, nice. Alrighty, try again. Have to descend at just the right angle. Alright, cool. So that's honestly a little scary to do, because if I go too far into the middle, I will be stuck there, and since I haven't beaten this level, I would have to reset the game. Oh, but it's fine. But yeah, you can do that. You can do that one without a power at all. And then the only other types of clips are like very like pixel perfect, frame perfect or something to like jump through a slope. Sometimes you can actually like get hit by an enemy like in 5-3 and you'll be pushed through like the collision of the slope. But it's like really weird. It's only useful in any percent, like actual any percent, which is also like the worst category. Like it is really dumb, so I don't recommend it.
It's now a good time to plug some upcoming incentives.
Yeah.
So, the next incentive we have is a color scheme bid war for Super Mario Land, the next run. Right now, the classic Game Boy and Super Game Boy skins have no money towards them, and the Virtual Boy skin is leading with $40. After that, we have naming the characters for Final Fantasy Legend 2. There are 4 characters who are going to be named: the human, imp, robot, and dragon, and all of them are available to be sniped if you choose to donate for that. And then the really, really big one, Final Fantasy Legend 2, Good Taste, Bad Taste palette swaps. As the run is going, whichever is in the lead, the palettes will be swapped as the run is going, and it's just awesome. There's a lot of beautiful and a lot of beautifully ugly palettes, and it makes a really, really great incentive, so we are super hyped for that.
Also, I wanted to mention, and I apologize, if you do have anything to say, please try to catch my attention. I am slightly hard of hearing, and you were kind of soft on my end, but yeah.
We are doing wonderfully.
Huh?
We're just mesmerized watching you run.
Alright, I just want to make sure I'm like not speaking too much and not giving you any chances.
This is your run. You can talk as much as you want.
Okay. Well, World 6 here. It can be a little scary. If this were 100%, this would be the hardest world because there is a switch in every level, and some of the methods needed to get them all as efficiently as possible is pretty tough. But even in no major glitches, 8%, it's still rough. But yeah, so that level was no problem. The first one, as I went through it, I actually had an odd incident where I was trying to take a pretty optimized path through the second room, but I ended up bouncing back. But oddly, it ended up despawning the one enemy that I was concerned about, so I was like, okay, that worked out smoothly. Okay, that was very nice. I love that strat a lot, but I have to be lined up just right for it. But it makes it really fast and really smooth to just jump straight up the ladder with Tornado. But if I miss it, I lose like way more time than I would gain, because I would end up waiting for Tornado to end underneath the ladder. Also, I love this strat a lot, so a lot of people don't go for this. I assume they might find it very difficult, but the only thing I do is I literally just hold A until Kirby jumps out of the water, and then I hit B, and Kirby automatically moves right. If you press any directions at all, you might end up messing up your how you're lined up, and only in that case, when you bounce off the wall in the water, you'll end up falling way back, and you'll get hurt by the Scorpion drop Tornado, but otherwise it's very simple to do. Okay, nice. This clip can be scary sometimes. If I get too close to the bottom edge, it'll just suck me underneath, and then I'll be stuck down there, and I'll have to go through like 30 seconds of the room. But I can be a little closer to the top, but it can still suck me through the top as well. And that's annoying, but at least I get to retry. But that was really good, so no problem. In this room, sometimes this coconut here hits me on the head if I don't take it out, so I usually take it out. It doesn't always happen, but sometimes I'm like, might as well minimize the risk. But yeah, so one of my favorite things about this game, as I'm sure it's been noticeable, like almost every room has its nuances. Like there's so much going on, like so much optimized in each of them, and I love it a lot, but it does make it very difficult. But there's just so many little things you can do that changes, like you lose or save half a second here, or like maybe even far more. But I also think it's pretty cool. Like this isn't a very popular NES speedrun for most common NES runners. Like they usually do all the shorter games that are like really optimized as well. But yeah, this one just has a lot of things, and sometimes it makes me think of like Mario 3, how it has like 90-something levels, and I'm sure it has a lot of nuance as well. But yeah, really cool game. So 6-6 here is the worst, the scariest level, and it's mostly because of the next room. It's gonna have a bunch of UFOs flying around, and they are all random. And I got really good luck already. What I don't want them to do is immediately fly into me as soon as the room starts, because I'm always taking this path I just took, so that was really good. But there's a chance that the very first two might just fly straight into my face, and generally when that happens, my Tornado drops into the abyss, and it's gone. So I'm just hoping that doesn't happen. Oh my gosh. Alright. But yeah, so smooth. That's like the only major concern. The arena here is on ice, so it's a little difficult, but it should be fine. Also great that I didn't take any damage at all in this world, because Meta Knight is up next, and Meta Knight, if I weren't trying to keep Tornado, I could just reset before fighting, but if I win or die, I get to keep Tornado, and I want to use it in 7-1. So I want Meta Knight to not be awful, because Meta Knight everything Meta Knight does is random, whether or not Meta Knight attacks, blocks, runs away. So you can get you can get cases where Meta Knight is super aggressive and never eases off of attacking. Or you can get cases where Meta Knight is not attacking but is way too defensive, and it still takes a long time just to beat him. But that was pretty average, I'd say. And here we have a clip on ice with lag as well from the two enemies on the left, if they choose to do something. So it can be really difficult to do this one. Oh my gosh, please. There you go. Alright, that was a lot of hard work, so hopefully I don't mess this up. Nice. Well, that's fine. Getting stuck up there is a lot better than falling out of the bottom. If I go too low and get stuck below the screen, there is no fixing that. Also, I didn't think that through, but it's fine. So 7-2 here can be a very tricky hole. There's a hidden door up here, which isn't very obvious in this game, but in the remake on GBA, I'm pretty sure they just show it. But yeah, so I'm gonna use Hammer for the rest of these bosses because they will grab me otherwise. Oh, please don't do that. Okay, good. I want them to give me good patterns. A majority of the time they do, but sometimes they do hops, which I don't need. But yeah, no, that was very great. And I'm with this one, yes, nice. Alright, that was like pretty much perfect luck for the most part, aside from the first thing the rolling turtle did. But yeah, that was good. Also, that one-up room, I really, really like it. It's funny. There's like so many one-ups in that room that the game lags from it, but if you just grab the first one in front of you, it automatically reduces it by a bunch. So I'm gonna try to mix Tornado here. It's the last mix I'll have. Oh, perfect, great. I was gonna say, if I don't get it first try, there's like several more of these to do backups on. I have like 4 tries, but that's cool. So in this level, we learn that geometry is very bad. These diamond shapes, they are very obnoxious because of all the slopes. It went very smoothly, so I'm very happy, but this is where I lost my 42 pace runs that my PBs had. But the slopes in the first room are very obnoxious. If you try to run or jump up them or like float, you'll get caught on the undersides, and if you meet the very corners, it's possible to get clipped inside of the blocks, which you can still do with Tornado, so it is very annoying if you cannot move precisely enough. Okay. That wasn't supposed to happen. That's a good backup though. I'm glad they came in sync like that. That was just wonderful. Yeah, if you grab 2 balls, it creates Tornado if you just hold it down. So that was perfect. Also, I am totally messing up this room. I don't know what I'm doing right now, but that's okay. Nothing went wrong. There you go. Alright, so we're nearly at the end. This level used to be a bit troubling. Oh, I actually didn't get the last hit, because I ended up grazing it. But that's fine. This level used to be a bit troubling because of the way this wind tunnel works. Sometimes I would get hit by that flamer that was circling around, but I know exactly what precise point I need to hit it now. It's no longer troubling. Without Tornado, there's a fun strat you can do in the Wind Room, where you just slide off the tops and then inhale everything on the way down. But, yeah. If you didn't have Tornado, you would just take Burning for this level, but I don't really like Burning as much, personally. But yeah, this is my favorite level of the game. So this came out in '93, and Dreamland came out in '92, and I enjoy that they already put a callback to the past game, like, in the next one. Like, okay. In a lot of ways, though, personally, I like to think that this game is just a better Dreamland. So I'm gonna try this again. Nice. Okay, so this level has 2 optional clips. If I miss that one, but get down below, I can do a different one that goes straight to the door, but that's okay. But yeah, neither are totally needed, but nice to have. And we are pretty much about at the end. There's still a few more things to go through, though. Like, D2D, I'm going to be resetting the game to do a manipulation for. Hopefully I don't mess up. But yeah, after the game fades to black, before the level goes back to normal, it's okay to reset. Now, when Kirby makes impact with the ground, or any walls, and you see the stars shoot out, and also when you inhale, those things all advance RNG. So you can follow those to make sure that everything is in sync. So, okay, it looks like I got the right DDD pattern. But yeah. Long ago in the past, this fight used to be done without any kind of manipulation. You still used ball, but you had to align it up perfectly, and it was just so... it looks very tedious. But yeah, like that, it's okay. D2D is a perfect creature, so we use perfect manipulation. That's what I like to think, at least. So, well, I said during Kokoron earlier that it has the roughest mashing out of most of the games I've played. There's a lot here, and it's not really that bad, but it can be a little annoying at times. Because I'm hitting both A and B a lot here. But that's okay. That was an okay orb. The funny thing about this is that sometimes when you get the star and it leads into this transition, the game can soft lock temporarily where the background glitches out and it loops for about 4 minutes until it fixes itself. And while that's not ideal, I really want it to happen in some kind of an event because I just want to showcase that. It looks really, really funny, but it would be lame to have on like a TV attempt. Okay. So there's not much randomness to either phase of Nightmare. Just a few little variances in some of the turns, like how high he spawns and how soon he attacks. Also, this fight is a lot easier if you go behind him, because casually, if you're trying to fight him from the front, when he shoots his stars, the game lags like crazy and makes it really difficult to hit him. Also, yes. Nice. Okay, I got an early hit there. The 5th turn, if I were to miss it, like that's the one I'm expecting. Oh yeah, also time is right here on this. Okay, there we go. So the 5th turn there is annoying because the 5th and 1st turns, he can either delay when he attacks or he can do it immediately. And when he does it immediately on the 5th turn, I usually miss it because I have almost no time to respond to it. So that's kind of average for me. But yeah, so that was Kirby's Adventure without any of the switches. save the day from Nightmare.
GG on that amazing run.
Thank you. I hope that even with all the tornado, it was still a fun watch. I personally adore this game, and I am, again, gonna try to grind out as much as I can to try to get a 42 and make it even better than the existing 42. But
Heck yes, that sounds like an awesome plan.
thanks for having me, and I hope everybody continues on watching and supporting the cause, and hope everybody has a good night. Bye.
Thank you for the run.